Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection Show is on the air. We're at PACT-TV Studios in City Hall in Duluth. It's Monday, November 13th, 2023. Boy, it's a big day. High school boys hockey starts their practice first day. So we're going to find out a lot of the big teams where some of their players are out playing juniors, come back to play high school, or stay out in juniors. And this can change the rankings to start the season big time. So we'll know a lot late tonight because the word will get out on a lot of these kids if they showed up for practice. And so today I'm going to give a call to former high school coach at many teams and does one of the biggest Summerfest scrimmages with about 25 high school teams in the summer. And he has three of the biggest tournaments during the holidays. And so his name is John Barger. He coached Burnsville, Northfield, and out in North Dakota. So we're going to give him a call in about 3-4 minutes and talk to him about his tournament and the teams in it. And boy, he does have the teams. He has 4 of the top 5 teams in my book that I'm going to rank in the beginning of the season in the AA. So it's going to be an exciting tournament this year because top teams will be playing each other. And little news, the Bulldogs had a hard weekend. The Wild had a hard week. And so they got to get it back together. The Bulldogs play St. Cloud State this weekend, and the Wild go to Sweden to play Ottawa and Toronto. So hopefully they can get back on the winning streak. But the Minnesota Wild, after winning 10 in a row, Wilderness, the North American Hockey League Junior Club out in Cloquet, they're playing this weekend at home. And they won 10 in a row, then they went on a little dive. They lost 3 in a row, but they got it back on Saturday night and won a game 1-0. So good for them, and they're still in first place in their division. So we'll keep track on what they're doing and some of the players, especially the Minnesota players on that team. So I'm going to give John Barger, the former coach of Burnsville, Northfield, even St. Louis Park, I think he coached, New Prague. So he coached a lot of different teams. And he was out in North Dakota for a long time too. So we'll give him a call in a couple minutes and find out the teams that will be playing in his tournaments. And just to start the season, before I know which players are coming back from juniors, my preseason picks for AA and that will be coming out next week, rankings, so 1 through 10, and I have 5 teams to watch. But the teams that I'll say the top 5 teams going into the first day of practice right now in AA, for sure I'm going to have Minnetonka, Wayzata, Edina, Chanhassen, and Rogers. So all those West Side teams in the Twin Cities, they're big schools and big programs and great programs, really. So, and then the single A, we got Hermantown, East Grand Forks. I think I got Delano on there, Montemita, and St. Cloud Cathedral. So some really good Class A teams. So let me give a call to John Barger and see if I can catch him down in Florida. He's probably on a golf course. Yeah, the Wild had a hard time last night. They lost 8-3, and it was not good. A lot of power plays for the Dallas Stars, and Jake Ottinger, the Minnesota kid in net, he's never lost to the Minnesota Wild. So let me see if we can catch John.
Please leave your message for 9522.
I guess he's not answering phone yet. I'll try in about 5 minutes. Okay, I was going to go back and so the 5 teams in AA, Tonka won the state tournament last year, and the word's out that almost all they had a lot of juniors, and they're all D1 commits. And I'm hearing almost all of them are going to be coming back. So they got to rank them number one when he starts the season if that happens. Edina is going to be loaded, and Kurt Giles, former UMD coach, he's going to be doing a very good job every year, and one of the better coaches in high school hockey. And then Wayzata. Wayzata didn't have, they only had one kid they lost. They went to the development team out in Michigan, but all their best players played in upper Midwest Elite League, so they'll get all their players basically back. And then Chanhasen's a team I just don't know. We'll find out tonight though, but they got 5 kids out playing juniors. If they come back, they can compete with everyone. I mean, they almost made it to the state tournament over Tonka, the winner of the state tournament. They lost 3-2 in the section finals. So if they get these players back, it's going to be a great section with Tonka and Chanhasen. And then Wayzata and Edina are in the same section. So it's got those 4 great teams. And then Rogers, they're going to have all these juniors this year. And these juniors are Top Gun. And they got about 5 of them that are all D1 prospects. So those are the 5 teams I really believe that will really do a good job. And then over in the A class, I had Hermantown in front, but I heard a rumor today that one of their best forwards, Dallas Bu, might not come back. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. And then East Grand Forks is going to be a very top team again. They won the state tournament about 5-6 years ago. And then St. Cloud Cathedral will be strong. Montemita, who won the Class A tournament, will be there. And then Delano, Orono, Warroad, and a team that's coming up, and they won the Bantam and Pee Wee A tournaments in the last couple years, is Hibbing Chisholm. And I expect them to start competing in the A class the next 3-4 years. So in Cloquet, they dropped from AA to A, so they're going to be in the top 10. So they're going to be a very good A team. They might have a hard time in AA, but A, they'll compete. So a lot of good teams, and probably more of the same teams. But that's what high school hockey is now. I'm going to try giving John a call again, see if we can catch him. Let's see. Let's see.
Please leave your message for 9-5.
Oh, I guess he's not answering his phone. Well, I'll keep on rolling. So college hockey, we had the Bulldogs lose 2 games to North Dakota team. The North Dakota team is a very good team, and they're in the top 10 in college hockey, along with Denver in the NCHC. And the Bulldogs are just having a hard time scoring right now, and they missed their top forward, Dominic James, and he's out for the season because of the shoulder injury. But if they can get their goaltending to be hot, they're playing all right, but they're not. They got to score more. That's the problem right now. They're just not scoring with James out. Their power play when he was playing before his injury, they were over 40% power play, and it's almost dropped in half now because he's been gone. So they'll figure it out. They got a good coaching staff, and then we'll see. They play St. Cloud State, who won a big series against Western Michigan, out in Western Michigan. So it's a big series down in St. Cloud this weekend for the Bulldogs, and we'll see what happens. The Gophers rolled over. They got a win and a tie against Michigan. They lost on the shootout, but they got 4 of the 6 points out there in Ann Arbor. So they're a very good offensive team. They're not as strong on D, but they got some young kids that'll grow during the season. And it wouldn't surprise me they're back in the Frozen Four, the Gophers. And then the University of St. Thomas, they're over 500 now. So that's a great story. They're picking up because they're right here in the Twin Cities. They're recruiting all over the state, and they're picking up a lot of Minnesota players from high school. So that's a team to watch in the future, and they're getting some really nice players too. And then Minnesota State and Bemidji State, they're playing 500 hockey, which is good for them right now. Especially Minnesota State losing their coach and 3 of their best players left, and with his team in Wisconsin. Mike Hastings got the new job at Wisconsin Badgers, and that's another surprise. He's only lost 1 game this year, and it looks like they're just doing a great job over there in Wisconsin. And they're in the top 5 in the country right now, so that's really a big surprise. So, yep, some of the teams though back east are really doing good. It's Quinnipiac, the last year's national champion. Then the Maine finally picking it up after a few years being down. And Boston College and Boston University are back being top teams in the nation. Providence, New Hampshire. So they got 6 good teams from the East League back there in the East Coast. And let's see, what do we have here? Oh, I was just looking at, I was at the Wild game last night. It wasn't a good game for the Wild, but I was looking at some of the stats and that. Brock Besser, the Burnsville kid playing out in Vancouver, he's one of the top leaders in goal scoring so far in the National Hockey League this season. He's got 11 goals. That's crazy. 11 goals in 14 games. That's almost a goal a game. So good for him. Another Minnesota kid doing good in the National Hockey League. And then there's a lot of players. I think we're going to get over 50 players that'll play in the National Hockey League that'll score a point this year. And that's another amazing thing. It's good to see Minnesota kids going further than just high school and college. But boy, National Hockey League is a tough league, and scoring the goals is even tougher. So the first day of practice, most teams, the good teams, really know basically who's going to be on their squad, the roster for the varsity and JV. And most teams might need to go with looking at 3 kids maybe that they need to finish the roster. And then they have to make cuts on the bigger schools, which is hard. The smaller schools usually don't have to make any cuts, which is nice. So at least a lot of the players get to at least play JV and then move up if they're playing good during the season. So they'll start their practice tonight, and by Wednesday, most high schools will be good to go with their rosters and that. And then most of the teams will start scrimmaging Friday and Saturday. And so Friday, Saturday, I know former Duluth East coach Mike Randolph, who coaches St. Thomas Academy now, he is bringing his team up to Hermantown Friday night. I don't know the exact time. I was going to get it later today that they'll scrimmage. But if you want to see a good scrimmage, get up to Hermantown or call their rink and see what time the scrimmage is Friday night. And I know Mike is scrimmaging around the area. I don't know if it's Cloquet, but they're scrimmaging again next day. And then Duluth East, I know, we had Coach Potosio on our show last week, and I know they're playing Woodbury on Saturday morning at Amsoil. The varsity, I think, is 11 o'clock at the Amsoil Arena. So that's another place to go if you want to see the local team, Duluth East. But check with your schools and that, and where your schools are scrimmaging, because there's a lot of scrimmages going on this weekend. Then the following week is Thanksgiving week, and it's amazing. Hibbing will be playing Grand Rapids Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So that's the 22nd of November, and my 9 is going to have the game on. Otherwise, you have to run up to Grand Rapids. But I'm curious about this Hibbing Chisholm team. I think they're going to be a very good Class A team since they have won Bantam A and Pee Wee A tournaments in the last couple years. And so their program is really getting nice, and I see a solid program for because of that, next 4 or 5 years. So then getting into Coach Barger, I'm just, the Christmas tournament, he does 3 different places, 3 different rinks in the Twin Cities. And the number 1 place is going to be the Plymouth Ice Center, and that's out in Plymouth. And what he has there, the 4 teams, is Wayzata, Rogers, Minnetonka, and Lakeville South. So 3 of the teams are going to be in the top 5 in the state. So if you want to watch good hockey, this will be Wednesday after Christmas, the 27th of December it starts, and then for 3 days, they switch off teams. So I'll be there for sure. I always like to see the top teams and who they got, and then plus there's so many players that'll be up for Mr. Hockey, and I get to vote for that every year. And they'll probably come out of probably one of those 3 teams, and there's a few more teams that have a lot of players, but it'll come down to pick the 7 skaters to make the list. And then over in St. Louis Park, Hill Murray and Chanhassen. So Hill Murray will probably be the top private school to start this season. And with their coaching staff, Bill Lechner is still there. And with his assistants, they always seem to do one of the best jobs in high school hockey from the start of the year to the end of the year. It's a team that just keeps on getting better and better and better during the year. And if Chanhassen gets all their players come back, that's going to be a heck of a game too. And I think that'll be Friday night on the 29th that those 2 will play down in St. Louis Park Arena. Then over in Maple Grove, they got Rosemont, Andover, Blake, Holy Angels, and then Chanhassen comes up for 1 game over there, and they play Maple Grove. Maple Grove's been a top team for the last 5-6 years, and there might be a little down this year. So I think Rogers will be the lead team in Section 5. And then up here in the Northland, we're going to have Rapids, East, and Andover fighting over for the number 1 seed in Section 7. And then let's see, it'll be like Section 2, Tonka and Chanhassen for sure. And then Section 6, Edina and Wayzata. And then White Bear and Hill, same story over there in Section 4. So there's going to be a lot. But down in Section 3, where my friend Mike Randolph, Coach Randolph, there'll be Cretin and St. Thomas Academy fighting it out again for the top 2 teams. So if you want to, this year, every week, I'll put my rankings out at MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. So you just go Minnesota Hockey, you can go MN or Minnesota Hockey Connection, either way, .com, and you'll find my rankings. And then I will, every week, I usually put like the D1 games in state. So if UMD's playing in state, I'll put where they're playing. And Friday, Saturday usually. And all like Minnesota Gophers, University of St. Thomas. So if you want to go to a college game, you'll have where they're playing in state. I won't put it when they go on the road out of state. And high school, I think what I'll do this year, a little different, I'll put the top 10 high school games of the week. But you can always look at your local team schedule and go to their games, which is very nice to promote your local teams. And so we'll put the top 10 teams that I feel will be, top 10 games, I'm sorry. And it'll be both Class A and AA. So you'll get a lot of information, but go to MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com and you'll get that information, the rankings, games of the week. And another thing, you can go to our Facebook and Minnesota Hockey Connection and like it. Twitter, Minnesota Hockey Connection, and follow it. And then you can even go to, I put a lot of my stuff because I don't know what Facebook does. It changes all the time, but sometimes I have to put a lot of the hockey stuff under my name so that if you want to go to Jerry, Jerry, Borough, Borough, and follow me there. It's almost 90% hockey. And so you'll get a lot of hockey information and keep you up to date on a lot of things in hockey, especially in the state of hockey, Minnesota. So good. Let me try one more time, see if I can talk to him 2 minutes.
Please leave your message.
Well, I guess his phone's not connected on. Well, sorry, we're trying to get John Barger, but he runs all these tournaments down in the cities during the holidays and all the scrimmages in the summer, the biggest scrimmage in the state. I mean, there's 25 teams that come to it. So he runs a pretty good show on these scrimmages and a lot of games to see and a lot of players. I always go to it because I see most of the players that are going to be playing next season. And plus I get an idea for Mr. Hockey, some of these players. So I start taking notes. So, and that's another thing. Because I vote for Mr. Hockey, I go to between scrimmages, Upper Midwest Elite League, JV and varsity games. I see 200 games a year, so I get a lot of sights on a lot of these players, and I talk to a lot of pro scouts and college recruiters, and basically we know almost every good kid that by the time they're in high school. So, but you like to see if they're still developing once they get to high school and if they're getting better. And I pick players that I really feel that they deserve to be Mr. Hockey high school player. Doesn't mean they're going to go pro. It just means that I thought they were the best players in high school hockey for the year. So, and I enjoy doing this every year. So what do we have left? Oh, I'm going back at the Wild. I was just thinking, boy, there's some players, they got to pick it up. They're getting this big money. And boy, Kirill Kaprizov is one of them. I mean, he's getting close to $10 million a year, and boy, he's only got 14 points. And you think he'd have a lot more goals, but I'm sure he'll get it going. And plus, he's an assistant captain this year, so I hope he gets it going. And then I was kind of surprised that they traded I thought, their best offensive defenseman, Addison, to the San Jose Sharks. So I was really surprised on that, but because I think hockey's changing where most of the D now are very offensive, and teams like that, and they get into play. So you're getting 5 players in play in the offensive zone. So we'll see what happens. I'm not the GM, and I don't want to be a GM. Oh, I was over at Duluth Heritage Center. They had their Tommy Williams tournament, so it's good. That's amazing. All this hockey going on now. They do have to build new rinks because when they have these tournaments, they're all over. Every rink's used. And next month is going to be the Spirit of Duluth and a lot of tournaments. And then all the tournaments in the down. It's just all year round now, hockey. If you're not playing all year round, it's very hard to even make a high school team in the Twin Cities. So there's over 5,000 potential high school players that train 8 months with programs that they pay 4,000 or 5,000 or more for skating, shooting, passing pucks, stick handling, mental part of the game, being smart on the ice. They go through computer programming on games, and they see film. So it's just like almost like the pros now. It's crazy, but it's the way it is. Back at my time, we played 3 sports and had fun, went out and played with your friends, but times have changed, and with phones and everything, it's a tough business now being a coach. And I appreciate all the coaches out there coaching again this year, and good luck for another great season in high school hockey. We'll see you at the rink, and thank you, PACT-TV producers, Vicky, Jim, and Liz. We'll see you at the rink then. Bye.